West Pearl Street. It's Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. This is a regular meeting of the Hood County Commissioners Court. We are in the central jury room of the Ralph H. Walton Jr. Justice Center. And our invocation is going to be given to us by Pastor Michael Edwards.
Would you pray with me? Our most gracious and loving God and Father, creator of all that was, all that is, and all that ever shall be, we come humbly before your throne this morning to thank you for the opportunity to serve you by serving those who have called us to serve our community. God of wisdom, we seek your help today. Come and let your wisdom fall on us, O Lord, as we gather here in this place at this time. Give us clarity so that we may effectively and wisely address each of our appointed tasks. Reveal problem areas and show us the best solutions that will apply. We ask that your Holy Spirit will guide us into all truth and that everything done or said here today will be pleasing to you. This we pray in the name that is above all other names, in the name of Jesus. And everyone said, Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance to the greatest country on the face of the earth.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great state of Texas.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, we're going to go right into special presentations. Number one on the agenda is award presentation for Hood County Youth Services, 6th Annual Blood Drive, Battle of the Badges by the Carter Blood Bank. We have somebody going to speak to this?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm Debbie with Carter Blood Care, and I'm honored to present this award to the Hood County Fire Department for winning this year's Battle of the Badges blood drive. We collected an amazing 141 pints of life-saving blood, which helped up to 423 patients in need. Your dedication to saving lives goes beyond your daily work. You showed up to support the community's blood supply in a big way. And none of this would be possible without the team at Hood County Youth Services. These people go above and beyond for this annual event every year, and their work does not go unnoticed. Thank you for all you do, and congratulations on this well-deserved win.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
She's coming over for the photo op.
Wow. Congratulations.
We appreciate all the employees who participated in this and actually gave blood. Thank you all. Thank all of you. Second presentation, proclamation honoring the legacy of Hood County resident Dr. Romeo Bachand. Is it Bachand? Bachand. Come on up to the microphone.
Good morning. My name is Matt Stajik. I'm Romeo's son-in-law. Also in attendance are his family, close friends, and coworkers. To honor the legacy of Hood County resident Dr. Romeo Bachand, whereas Dr. Romeo Bachand moved to Granbury in 2007, though he was born in Massachusetts, Dr. Bachand called Texas home and was a Hood County resident the remainder of his life. And whereas Dr. Bachand was a retired Air Force lieutenant colonel and surgeon, physician, professor of medicine and pharmacology, CEO, VP of global development, etc., for many pharmaceutical companies, hospitals, and universities. And whereas Dr. Prejean viewed education, leadership, and philanthropy not as accomplishments, but as responsibilities essential to living a meaningful life. He had a generous spirit, and he always encouraged others to give and participate. And whereas in 2009, Dr. Prejean heard about a new nonprofit, Ruth's Place, a medical clinic dedicated to serving the most vulnerable. His tireless energy and leadership transformed it into a lasting beacon of care and compassion. And whereas in Hood County, Dr. Prejean served as a board member or officer for Ruth's Place, Military Officers Association of America, Granbury Rotary Club. Across the country and even the globe, he founded Airy Africa and served on boards for Kenna Technologies, Milkhouse Laboratories, Children's Cross Connections International. And whereas Dr. Prejean received many Hood County awards, including 2018 Hood County Man of the Year, 2018 Howard Clemens Distinguished Service Award, 2016 Rotarian Award, and many more. And whereas Dr. Prejean was proud of all his accomplishments, but most of all, he was proud of his family. He enjoyed being a pilot and flight instructor, sailing, scuba diving, master diver and instructor, and medical mission trips. Now, therefore, the Hood County Commissioners Court encourages all Hood County residents to join the members of the Hood County Commissioners Court in honoring the legacy of Dr. Romeo Prejean.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got a proclamation here that we read, but here's the format. So we'll give you that. Yeah, and we're so thankful for the work that Ruth's Place does to help again. This is, in conjunction with other medical school and the hospital. You guys do great work over there for sure. Honor the way. Is that just right? I figure you know that better.
Okay, next we have service awards, and we have one recipient today, Laura Self. And she is unable to attend, so we'll catch her next time. Okay, thank you. All right, now we're at citizens' comments at large, and just want to remind everybody that you need to sign up if you have a desire to speak to an agenda item, you need to sign up before we call the item. We have two signed up for, we have three, somebody made it just in time. Three signed up for open mic, so hang on here. Okay. Oh, okay. Hang on, I'm getting there. All right, first speaker is Nancy White.
Good morning. My name is Nancy White. I'm from Canton, Texas. Just wanted to remind you and let you know that I'm here and kind of touch on a few things. I am going to be speaking on the battery energy object number 1 and number 18 as well. But there were a few points that I wanted to remind you of that Van Zandt County, by utilizing the NFPA 855, has been able to hold the battery companies accountable to doing what they're supposed to do by state standards and codes. And to date, they have not been able to provide proof that they are complying with those codes, no matter what they say. So I think that it's important and imperative that you hold them to the standards and codes as allotted by the state, because just because they say it doesn't mean that they are. Additionally, I want to touch on the fact that President Trump's recent mandate in reference to products coming from China not to be in these builds, specifically Chinese components. And again, 85% of battery energy storage systems and more than 80% of solar utilize Chinese components. And I want that to be stated because I did see number 18, and I will touch on that further, but I do think it's important that just because someone says it doesn't mean that they shouldn't have to provide the evidence of it. What someone says versus what they can prove are two different things. And that applies on the foreign trade zone and the battery energy storage systems. Always listen but verify. So I am looking forward to touching on the other topics and happy to be here this morning.
Thank you very much. Okay, our second speaker is Mr. Greg Harrell.
Good morning, Commissioners. 2 days ago, we celebrated the 6-month anniversary of President Trump's inauguration into the office of the 47th President of the United States. And every day, as a Republican, I'm thankful that he is in office, because I can't imagine what things would be like if the alternative had come to pass. As Republicans here, it's easy for me to be able to speak to you because we as Republicans, we operate from a set of principles that we have all agreed on. And I thought, given the things that all of you have to undertake and consider and decide upon, I think this 6-month anniversary is a good opportunity for us to refer to the Republican Party of Texas platform just to get some guidance on some of the issues that you might be considering, not only today, but in the near future. We know what a lot of those are. And also some of the items that you already have decided upon, just to kind of reflect on where we get our guidance from. Our guidance comes from the Republican Party of Texas 2024 platform. It's divided into 3 parts. It has a preamble, it has 10 principles, and it has 252 individual planks. Because I'm limited in time, I just pulled out a few of these items just so that I can share. You can kind of take them into consideration. The preamble starts, and it echoes the opening section of the Declaration of Independence. It says, affirming our belief in God, we still hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Then we go into the principles, and we say in the principles, we, the 2024 Republican Party of Texas, believe that in this platform and expect our elected leaders to uphold these truths through acknowledgement and action. 3, preserving individual Texan and American sovereignty and freedom. 4, limiting government power to those items enumerated in the United States and Texas constitutions. 5, personal accountability and responsibility. 8, the inalienable right of all people to defend themselves and their property. And 9, a free enterprise society unencumbered by government interference or subsidies. That's very important. Then I'll go into the platform. Platform plank 11 says, the rights of a sovereign people, the function of the government is not to grant rights, but to protect the unalienable God-given rights of life, liberty, property, and the pursuit of happiness of all, including the unborn. Texas resistance to the Great Reset Enact legislation protecting the property rights and freedoms of citizens and businesses in Texas by eliminating the priority given to the largest financial institutions to investor assets under the Uniform Commercial Code. 39, utilities. We support free market solutions for providing resilient and reliable utilities. I'll come back to that later. 43, we oppose environmentalism or climate change initiatives that obstruct legitimate business interest in private property use, including the regulatory use limitation and confiscation by government agencies. 47, energy production. We support free market solutions and the immediate removal of government barriers and direct subsidies to the production, transportation, reformulation, refining, and distribution of energy. We oppose federally directed plans and proposals that favor renewable energy sources that may constitute a nuisance or otherwise have a substantially negative impact on neighboring landowners, including harming property values of our neighborhoods, farms, and ranch areas. We urge the state to require minimum fire break setbacks on solar and battery facilities for wildfire prevention mitigation. That's Platform 47, and I will speak to that a little bit later. But thank you for all that you do, and thank you for adhering to these principles.
Okay, the third and final speaker, Kim Burton.
Good morning. I've been here before several times, so thank you for your time again. Today I'd like to make some comments as a resident of Hood County. I'm not an employee with a script. I'm not a public speaker, but I am a resident here, and I'm very proud of living here. And I have a lot of people that have talked to me about these issues as well. So I think it's important, and one of them, the main being this week, what we discussed, the foreign trade zone, which encompasses a lot. And through my own education, I've come to believe that the lithium battery storage facilities that are being built and want to come here are very attracted to the foreign trade zone, and that is why I'm against it. They think of it as a benefit. It's a cost savings to them. It improves their supply demand. It gives them flexibility for manufacturing and processing. It also is very enticing to them because it allows them for transportation and storage of lithium batteries. That means transportation through our county and storage in our county. Also, the use of the foreign trade zone is very complex, but they'll be working with customs, borders, and specialists, not just with you guys. So once the foreign trade zone is open to these companies, you will not always have say-so in every little thing that you want to happen. It gives more control to them. Having said that, if you do approve the letter of intent for the forward trade zone, will the lithium battery storage facilities and the data centers, which as we all know are both considered high risk to the populations, will they be harnessed and freed to expand within the Hood County here? Many of the components that these companies need for operation are not manufactured here in the U.S., as we all know. Therefore, these companies are attracted again to the foreign trade zones so that they can ship in the components they need to operate. If these mega solar entities can store and warehouse their components with no constraints, that gives them even 1,000 times power to build and come to our county. Where will it end? In Hood County, where you have taken an oath and to the best of your ability, serve the community and uphold the Constitution. How many lives, homes, neighborhoods, agriculture land, wildlife, river, lakes will be in jeopardy because we open the doors to more of these companies to build in our county? I'm here again because you've been given so many opportunities to learn and receive information from many people that have come before you. They're very skilled and educated and knowledgeable, and they have tried to help you learn about all the different possibilities that you have to gain control over these issues that have become a big problem for our county. And having said that, I just want to implore to you that your decision today will stay with us forever. The decisions you make in the coming weeks will be the history of Hood County and all the young generations that are coming here to live a clean and healthy life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to all the speakers. We're going to get into the miscellaneous discussion items now. Agenda item number 1, discuss and take appropriate action to review a draft resolution regarding safety requirements for battery energy storage systems, i.e. BESS, in Hood County. Review draft website notification announcement to be placed on the Fire Marshal webpage. Take it away, Commissioner 2.
Thank you. I just want to thank our Fire Marshal for all the firefighters for everything that they do on a normal, everyday basis, but especially over the last 24 hours. There was a very horrific fire that they have been battling. So to say that...
Excuse me, we got 5 speakers too. You want to hear them first? Or?
Well, just let me say that I have been working with our Fire Marshal, Jeff Young, and our legal department with Alan Quine. But it's a draft. So the point today is just to introduce it, talk about it. I don't expect this to be the final version at all. So for one point for sure is that Jeff hasn't seen the final or this draft version because there were many changes made yesterday with our law department that he has not had a chance to review. So this is probably the first time that he's seen it. And so this is going to be just, as you all know, we have rules about more than 2 of us talking at once. So this is the platform that we can use to look at something, talk about it, and make changes, bring it back at a later point, or not. So with that, I'll go ahead and with the speakers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, returning for a limited engagement, we have Nancy White.
Hello again. So as far as the resolution, I want to state that what you're doing with that is you're showing support to your fire marshal, which, as he knows, is something that I have stated that we support him in Van Zandt County. I know that he has worked directly with my fire marshal, who has the good fortune of working with those that wrote the NFPA 855. And there were a few details that I wanted to point out as well from our resolution and from what we've been able to do. For one of those, under the 855, it has to show that the energy storage system is in a remote location, which is 500 feet from any location, not 100, not 1,000. It is 500 based off of the fire codes and the standards. So 500 feet to show it's in a remote location. Additionally, you can calculate for water, but as far as the permit fee, I show it's to be determined. That is a percentage based off of the cost of the build. So for instance, ours was roughly $1 million. Their permit fee was close to $364,000 to give context. So that there is a establishment of percentage within the fire standards of what the permit fee would be for this type of structure. And it is a percentage of the cost of what it takes to start the structure. Additionally, I cannot emphasize enough the importance and the need for a site-specific emergency plan, Being a volunteer fire department, having your fire marshal, and especially with current events, you understand the necessity for a proper fire emergent plan. So what are your citizens doing? What are your law enforcement entities doing? What's your sheriff supposed to do? What's your fire marshal supposed to do? What's your volunteer people supposed to do? Not a generic, any battery energy storage will apply. What is your county at this site, those nearby, what are the people doing? That is a requirement under there. I do want to also tack on another very important detail, that UL 9540 and the 9540A testing for the lithium. There are only 4 approved testing sites in the United States. Now, you may see on your washing machine that it has a UL stamp, and your refrigerator may have a UL stamp because they have lithium. There are entities that are subcontracted to put stamps on things that are not approved to do the testing. One of the things we found in ours is that they had not used one of the 4 approved UL testing sites. So I cannot encourage enough that you verify that they are using proper sources to do their jobs. Just because they say they are, again, verify. There are 4 sites, and they are putting stamps on them as if they are getting it done properly, and they are not meeting that standard. So when you go through that telephone book and you go through those documents, look at which location it was, verify just that it's one of those 4 approved. So site emergency specific, that you are verifying the UL testing is at a proper location, 500 feet setback, and this is all for citizen safety. The purpose of these steps is not to stop the project. This is for safety of the people. If it stops the project because they can't meet standards and codes, then they shouldn't be moving forward anyways. All you are doing is verifying that they are meeting the state standards and codes. They are following the law. And that's what everybody should be doing anyways. If you're following the law, you continue on your journey. And like I said, in Van Zandt County, we found that they kept saying it even after we put the temporary restraining order against them, after passing our resolution in support of our fire marshal and our fire standards and codes. They still maintained on media, on the news, that they are meeting these standards and codes. They have been stopped since April. We are now in July. They are about to do an additional extension. They are going to be more than 9 months behind on a project, and it has cost them an additional $52 million to date, minimum, because we are ensuring that they are meeting standards and codes. And that should not be the case, because if they are meeting it, they wouldn't be held so far behind on a project and have to have these additional costs. We should not be making it easy on them. We should not be making it where we just open the door and roll out the mat. Because at the end of the day, they are not safe. There is a reason that Donald Trump, as our president, is trying to stall these. They are not compatible with our grid. They are not safe for our water, for our land, or for our people. And I would like to remind you that I have the lab reports of more than 15 people that have tested positive for lithium poisoning in their blood from these fires, from these plumes. So again, I highly support this resolution. I highly support your fire marshal and everyone at this seat. And I think that it's a great imperative move forward to ensure citizen safety and that you listen to your people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, our second speaker is Mr. David Ferris.
Good morning. Good morning. A lot of things previously said. Foreign supplies of batteries from China, lithium from fires. Everybody should know those are the major concerns. Well, I'm really only going to talk about fires with lithium batteries. Why does that happen? All batteries have cells that have a barrier in between them. With lithium batteries, it's been determined that over time, charging and draining the battery, extremely small microfractures start to create in that barrier between the 2 cells, and it creates micro shorts, which increases the fracturing until you get to a point where there's a major energy flow between them. The battery heats up and causes a fire. Well, all my life I bought batteries for cars, boats, etc., and they would come with a warranty, and they're really based on the quality of the battery, based on how long they expect to do. If they build a cheap battery, you got a 2-year warranty. If you bought a very expensive one, they'd give you a 7-year. Well, 6 months ago, I had to go buy a lithium battery for a jet ski. The other one only lasted a year and a half. I bought a brand new battery. It was $280. Within a week, it was dead. I take it back and they say, we don't give warranties on batteries anymore because they're coming from China, all right? That is a problem. Well, now we get into what I really wanted to talk about. You understand that the problem is the barrier, hopefully, between those. There is a company in the U.S. that has started making a graphene barrier. That's an amazing technology. Is it toxic? Graphene is just carbon atoms. I mean, you could eat a handful of them. Wouldn't hurt. May not taste good, but it's eating charcoal. And everybody should know that graphene forms carbon forms amazingly strong structures. Diamonds, tetrahedron structure, one of the strongest materials on Earth. Graphite, extremely strong. Graphene is just carbon atoms. However, what they've been able to do, and a barrier needs to be very thin, it needs to conduct electricity, and it needs to conduct heat to cool down the battery. Graphene, they've managed to produce layers of graphene that are 1 carbon atom thick, sheets of it. These are available now in cell phone batteries. I was reading some of the prices and testing. What it does is it will extend the life of a battery 3 or 4 times, a lithium battery. It conducts electricity and heat much more efficiently than anything else. They expect them to have them out for car batteries probably by the end of the year. It's a larger format, okay, a larger sheet. Size-wise, it takes nothing to replace that in. So one of the things you might want to consider is taking a little bit of a look at that technology, because I wouldn't fear a battery made in the U.S. with graphene barriers 2 miles from me. If it doesn't catch on fire, if it doesn't break down, that lithium battery is probably not going to catch on fire unless a diesel tank next to it catches on fire and it's an external fire that causes the battery. That's not what you usually worry about. You worry about lithium batteries, which always heat up, and that's where the fire danger is. All right? So look into graphene. And a plant's not going to be built, finished in a year and a half. But I guarantee whoever's building it, existing technology is a whole lot cheaper than new technology. This may add 40% to price to the battery. By then, hopefully it'll be closer. But as long as you can extend it out, requiring graphene or something of that nature, it would be much, much safer.
Thank you, sir. Okay, speaker number 3, also returning for a limited engagement, Mr. Greg Harrell.
Limited engagement. Back in the bad old days of 2022, under the Biden administration, we had a thing called the Inflation Reduction Act foisted upon this nation. What a terrible thing that was. It passed the Senate by a stellar vote of 51 to 50. It was actually a very big improvement over what they were considering before then, and that was the Build Back Better Act, which was nothing but a World Economic Forum set of laws that would be imposed on the U.S. But under the Inflation Reduction Act, the so badly misnamed, bad misnomer, the energy industry was highly incented to so-called renewable energy. I call it non-dispatchable energy sources. And so wind, solar. And when you deal with non-dispatchable energy sources, obviously you have to have a way to store that energy. And so we saw the rise of this technology called BESS. And as the foreign companies that produce this kind of equipment began to look around the world, they saw this law, the IRA, that took effect in the United States and incented, gave credits of 30 to 70% for installation of so-called renewable energy and associated BESS facilities. And then they've investigated further and they said, hey, take a look at Texas. They have their own grid, and oh, by the way, they love freedom, and because they love freedom, they don't have any regulations for us to deal with. So let's move into Texas in a big way, and we will install these BESS facilities like crazy, to the tune of over 800 BESS facilities now planned to be installed in Texas, mostly in rural areas, but mostly in areas where they really do impact people. I'm going to tell you right now that 20 years from now, we will not be talking about BESS technology, at least not in its current form. So everything that we're facing right now is a short-term issue. These companies that are foreign-based, Vestas and Siemens and a lot of Chinese companies as well, are scrambling to install these facilities in Texas before we can get around to properly regulating them and properly dealing with the issue that is BESS, the dangers of BESS. So we really need to play in a lot of ways. We're playing a holding action here, and we're using whatever tools that we have at our disposal to try to delay these BESS facilities. This resolution that you're considering is a good delay tactic. Ultimately, I will tell you that we will not be talking about BESS in 20 years. President Trump is all about two things. We're going to use American energy. It's going to be good old Texas natural gas, good old Texas coal. There's a good coal source, oil, and we're going to start utilizing what they call modular small reactors, MSRs. The first one was approved in 2023 by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, so we'll see those. The Republican Party of the state of Texas actually supports that technology for use in Texas. So I appreciate that as you consider this resolution, just remember the big picture. This is not something that originates in Texas. This is from overseas. This was imposed on us by the Biden administration. We need to do everything that we can do to protect the people of Texas and the people of Hood County from these dangerous facilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, speaker number 4, Mr. Highsmith.
Good morning. I'm John Highsmith, and I live in Precinct 2, and I have the privilege of living very near one of these BESSes that is being constructed at this moment. So with that, why are there concerns about a fire regulation? Normally that's not something that gets a lot of attention. That's because what we're really talking about are BESSes. That's a battery energy storage systems, and you've heard some good information this morning already about these things. The one that's being built at this time is on Membrino Highway. It is the Apache Hill BESS, and it is right behind, are you ready? Rainbow's Promise Preschool. And when I say right behind, I've driven out, I've looked at this thing, I've walked around it, literally right behind a preschool. And it's also 1.2 air miles from Membrino Steam Academy. And you would think the developer would not be so irresponsible. You'd be wrong. And there have been 89 reported fires so far in BESSes in the United States. So our fears are not irrational by any means. The developer is Vitus Energy. They bought the project from Black Mountain Energy in 2024 in July. They were founded in 2022 with headquarters in St. Augustine, Florida. It seems to be the MO of many of these companies. They're fairly new, they're located in Florida, and they're out to make a buck. So if you can't rely on the developer to have sense enough not to put it next to a school, what can be done? That's where the National Fire Protection Association Standard 855 comes in. At least there would be some protections. And I think you know these, but just briefly, fire detection, suppression requirements, explosion control, thermal runway management, guidance on design, construction, installation practices, and the requirements for physical separation of units to prevent fire spread. And then the county can require permitting, probably the big key here. And then this court directed the county fire marshal to come back to the court to present a permitting charge and permit inspection fees. I want to stress how time is of the essence. They are constructing Apache Hill BESS now, and the protections available in 855 need to be put in place now. I understand that the county fire marshal wants to take the time to include all businesses that could fall under 855 and does not want to pick on one business. Well, here's what I say. When a company shows such irresponsibility as Vitus Energy, they need to be picked on to protect our most vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, our last speaker on this item is Ms. Jessica Hall.
Hello. First, I'd like to thank our Fire Marshal, Mr. Jeff Young, for his work on this agenda item. You have heard myself and others speak about this item in detail, so I just want to say that with the 2 battery storage facilities already here and the 2 facilities starting to build, including new data centers near home and schools, it is more important than ever to establish and enforce the Battery Energy Storage Standard NFPA 855 to the fullest extent to ensure safety standards are being followed to the letter. We would like to see this in place before Apache Hill and the others can do any further construction. And in accordance with HB 3824 relating to fire safety battery storage signed by our governor on June 20th to go into effect September 1st, 2025. Van Zandt County has utilized the NFPA 855 and joined a 391 sub-regional Planning Commission to protect their community. And they are very close now to securing a permanent injunction of a battery storage company trying to build that does not want to comply. Commissioner Williams from Van Zandt, who has a background in corporate law, speaks about this in detail during the Secure the Grid conference. Bottom line, we need these safety measures in place to protect our residents and especially our firefighters. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, commissioners, back to you.
All right. There you go. Thank you. So, Jeff, do you want to come up to the podium? So, what I've learned over the last month or so about NFPA 855 and a lot from the fire marshal here is we don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have to pass this resolution for you to be able to enforce the state requirement for NFPA 855.
Correct.
So what this really is, in my view, and I want to get feedback from the commissioners and whether we change this, or really this is just a statement to companies that are planning to come here that we are aware of NFPA 855 and that we expect them to follow it because our fire marshal has the authority to do that per the state of Texas, and also whether or not we want to implement a permit fee. That's probably the biggest thing in here. There was some legislation passed this in the 89th legislature called HB 3809 that we thought was going to give us a little bit more teeth. But really, if you dig into that, that is really focused on citizens who want to lease their property to another company to create a battery energy storage facility. So the wording on the very last section just says, if you'll scroll to the next page, please. The very last section on decommissioning and removal, which was what 3809 was about, would potentially just say that Hood County encourages property owners to familiarize themselves with the Texas Utilities Code 303, HB 3809, decommissioning and removal requirements when entering into a lease agreement related to battery energy storage systems. What 3809 is about is ensuring that if you as a leaseor, if you decide to lease your property to a battery energy storage project, that you have in your agreement decommissioning and a bond for that if the LLC or the company or whoever it is goes away and leaves your property in a mess. So we are not a party to that. The county is not a party to that agreement. So really what this is just saying is that just putting notice out to people in Hood County that if they decide to do that, they need to make sure they're in compliance with 3809. So since you probably haven't had a chance to look at this latest draft that Mr. Quine and I worked on, do you want to go through it, or do you have any questions or observations at this point?
So what I was able to read through it was a lot of the 855 compliance, which I don't know that the county would need a resolution for me to enforce 855. State law's already there, already says I can do it. The 3809 that we read through, I hate to make a joke of it, but it's kind of like an EOR bill. It is between the leasee and the leaseor. It does not give us any leeway on anything. That is to protect the rights of the person who owns the property, who's leasing it to a BESS facility. It basically outlines what the company is responsible for with cleanup, restoration, all of that stuff after the end of their lease. What Jessica just mentioned was 3824. I didn't spend any time looking at 3824 because I was focused on reading through and understanding 3809. So until I look at 3824 and kind of dive into that, I'm not sure what that's going to reference. In fact, Nancy might know.
It's fire code. It has to do with fire code standards.
With 855?
Yeah.
Okay. So already knowing that we have the authority to enforce 855, I don't know that we require a resolution to do that because I already have the authority to enforce 855.
And every intention in the world of doing so, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, let's be clear about that.
So as I was saying, the intent of this would just be that we recognize as a court and publicly stating to the community or anyone who intends to come to our community to create a battery energy storage system, that we are well aware that you have the authority to enforce the NFPA standards and that they should know that they will need to comply.
Correct.
So this is more of a notice, hey, we know about this, our fire marshal knows about this, our fire marshal will be enforcing these standards.
So this essentially, I guess, would fill the gap between now and when I actually have it posted on the website or somewhere that they know that there are permitting fees and permitting processes and all of that stuff in a fee schedule. So that this will fill the gap and basically let them know, hey, this is coming, but anyone that's called my office has already been advised that they need to be 855 compliant on any of their projects. The phone book thing that we referred to a while ago from Apache Hill, we did spend a day reviewing their plans. Their plan is site-specific, not generic. We did find on the UL website where their equipment has been tested. I haven't verified if it's any of the 4 that are approved, but it is listed on the UL website as their equipment has been tested. I probably will call Miss Nancy when we're done because I'm sure I'll be here much longer than she is today. But there's a couple of questions on things that she stated already that I'd like to clarify and figure out where to get to. But outside of that, yes, all the companies that are coming here that have called my office are aware that they need to be compliant to 855.
So even though 3809 doesn't go into effect till 9/1 of 25, what's the effect of that bill to the current BES that's already in the county?
On Apache Hill, it would have no effect whatsoever because Apache Hill purchased the property and they own it. They're not leasing from anyone.
Okay.
They bought it.
Own the property.
Yes.
But there are others in the works that are on leased property.
Correct. Now, I think Rain Lily is one of the ones we can talk about in particular. I know they don't even plan on turning dirt till 27. And I have been in constant conversations with them, going back and forth and discussing pre-planning and all of that stuff. So there is absolutely no mystery whatsoever that they need to be 855 compliant. One of the things that I would like to remind the court and everyone that's watching, 855 is one of the state adopted codes. 855 is what it brings to compliance for battery storage or energy storage systems. It has absolutely nothing to do with power generation. 850 is what covers power generation, and I don't believe that's a state adopted code yet. So your solar panels, your windmills, your MSRs, all of that stuff would likely fall under 850, which I don't believe the state has adopted just yet. And correct me if I'm wrong, Nancy, because you probably know that. No, correct. So 850 has not been adopted by the state. So we have absolutely no say so over production, only storage.
Here, I'm struggling with a lot of these issues, and it's not necessarily specific to the BES systems. What comes with fire codes? As conservatives, our party philosophy is against growing government, against burdensome over-regulations, and a lot of what we're talking about here, I'm scared to death. This is how California became California. It's addressing a small issue, trying to target this, but getting the surroundings as an unintended consequence, and it sucks everything into it. I'm very concerned with this. I'm struggling with this. Is it really the government's business to tell you? I've always struggled with code, building code. Is it the government's place to tell you that you need to use the right size wire, or should it be in your own best interest, your personal responsibility to build your home to where it's not going to burn down? I know, excuse me, I toured the De Cordova facility. Excuse me. Now, there are several fail-safes in place at the De Cordova facility. If something overheats, it disconnects that battery from the system. If it does actually turn into a fire, it floods the container with water. It's a sealed container. It floods it with water. I have never fought a Tesla fire. I've never had an EV on fire that I was dealing with, but I've sat in some classes and been trained on how to do this and what the futility of that effort. There are a lot of issues here. There are a lot of things that I'm struggling with. These are things that are against the primary foundation of the Republican Party, that are, free of government intervention. There is some degree of regulation required. We all know that. There is some degree of it. But we have to be careful we're not pulling a whole lot more in with this. And that was my concern with adopting all the fire codes with the intention of targeting the BES systems. We have to hire more people. We've got government looking over people's shoulder out in the county. You have to sprinkle a building over 5,000 square feet, whatever that number may be. If you live in a place that it's not connected to a water source, you're adding hundreds of thousands of dollars to your build. And I don't know if we're getting the benefit. It's tough. I mean, does that mean that the next mom and pop that wants to pop up on the corner, our government regulations are so burdensome that they can't? That's not what anybody's after. That's not what we're about. And this is something that I'm struggling with on the inside. I see the potential harm here. We all want a cleaner environment. That's not even a question. We all want to protect our kids. We want to protect our communities. There's no question to that. But, you know, golly, I keep going back to this, and I'm probably going to get beat to death for saying this. But a few years ago, we were saying, drill, baby, drill. We were saying, let's do it. Let's do it responsibly. And I still say, let's do it responsibly. I don't know the ins and outs of battery energy storage facilities and how they're manufactured. And, you know, Mr. Ferris, you know, graphene sounds like a great idea to me, but I certainly don't claim to have any knowledge about this. But let me ask you this as a conservative principle. Isn't the company that's trying to make money, isn't the company that's insuring these products, aren't they going to try to make sure that they don't have a runaway fire and lose the whole facility instead of just a container or two? I mean, are these not conservative principles that I'm struggling with here? I believe that they are, and I'm having trouble with some of this. The long and the short of it, this resolution doesn't change anything about 855.
Correct.
And this is symbolism over substance, I guess, is, you know, we're golly, I hate to put it that way because I'm not trying to, you know.
That's what I said. It's a notification.
Yeah. I'm struggling with this. I really am.
Okay, so I'm going to try and chew on this and process it a little bit because I think there was a question at the beginning.
If there was, I forgot what it was.
I almost forgot what it was because that was kind of long, but you said something about what's the point of fire codes in the beginning. So the point of fire codes is to protect the public. And the other word you used in there is should. They should protect and do the right thing. But I can tell you, people should know not to jump off bridges, but they do it every day. People should know not to cut corners because that's not the safe way to do it, but it may be more cost effective. And so when it comes down to the fire codes and the things that I've said that I want to enforce, that's your building code, your life safety code, that's your big box stores that decide they don't want to sprinkle because it costs too much to build a tank and a fire pump in the back. Well, what's the cost of life? You know, several courts ago, I'd mentioned the Station nightclub fire. I know there's probably not a lot of people that would think going into a nightclub would be a risk to your life and safety. But when the Station nightclub caught fire and over 100 people died in that fire because they didn't have sprinklers and they weren't following fire code, that is the point of your inspections and fire codes, is to protect the public.
I think, I don't know if this will help you at all, but this is, you know, this doesn't impact the mom and pops. This is, and BESS is relatively new technology. And I think it was Mr. Harrell mentioned that we don't have our state regulatory authority has not really caught up to what this new technology is or where the risks all are. There are a lot of renewable companies out there that I've found in the last few weeks that do their own training and have YouTubes out there and booklets out there to help the renewable energy implementers on how to comply with this. So yes, it's in their best interest to do this, but there are also, it's in the best interest of contractors to do what's right, but we know that there's home builders that cut corners and then sell it to the homeowner and they don't know that it's faulty wiring or substandard flooring. You know, maybe they didn't put the piers in correctly. So what are those?
Well, and that's not even part of the building code, but, you know,
But
I mean,
whatever, you know, there's contractors that will cut corners, and this is not intended to impact mom and pops or, you know, grocery stores or, you know, anyone that's trying to.
Depends on the size of the grocery store.
Well, this is just for battery, 855 is just for battery energy storage.
855 is just battery storage.
Yes, so,
But all of the fire code that I'm wanting to enforce would include grocery stores over 12,500 square feet.
Wait, may I say something?
go ahead.
We got a long agenda today. We're not going to vote on it. We're not.
No, and thank you for that. The intent of this was just to ensure that everyone had seen it, and as I said, you had a long day yesterday.
Yes.
So thank you for your service and for all of the volunteer fire departments that were involved in that. But just look at this and think about it, give feedback to Jeff or me if you can, or to Brenda, who, you know, probably better to just give it to Jeff. And then I'll, you know, let me know and we can put it back on at a later date.
Okay.
Yeah, or maybe everybody loves workshops. Maybe we could do a workshop on it.
But
all right.
Just to, you know, just to remind everyone, passing this resolution or adopting a resolution does not.
Doesn't change the law.
Right, you can still, you are with Apache Hill and any others that are coming along, you are ensuring that they're following NFPA 855.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. I want to be clear. I want 855 enforced. I want to be very clear about that.
Good call.
I'm just concerned about the potential unintended consequences.
Do I make a motion to table item 1?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to table item number 1 of the second from Commissioner Andrews. Any other comments? All in favor of tabling this, say aye.
Aye.
I'll say aye. Motion passes 4-0. All right, we're going to get to, thank you, sir. Number 2, discuss and take appropriate action to approve the 2025-26 Hood County holiday schedule. Ms. Wellborn?
Good morning. I believe everyone should have received a copy of it. That's definitely the court's schedule, recommendations. So if you have any questions or concerns about it. All right.
I make a motion to adopt the 2025-2026 holiday schedule as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the 2025-26 Hood County holiday schedule made by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposition. Passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Auditor. Okay. Number 3, discuss and take appropriate action to modify the agenda item and auditor deadlines for Commissioners Court date schedule to comply with newly passed House Bill 1522 relating to notice of a meeting held under the Open Meetings Law, which will be effective September 1st, 2025. It's all yours.
Good morning. So I've taken a different approach to presenting the court dates in a different format. I printed it out and put it before you guys. It's not like a list anymore, it's on a calendar. So I recognize that's a huge change, but it's a little easier to read and see what's going on. So I've gone over this with all the important people, with the HR department, with the county judge's office, with deadlines, with Leanne, with payrolls. So I believe that this version that you have in front of you, there were some updates this morning, is the most correct version, and I really like it. So if you guys like it, I would love for you guys to adopt this new calendar view.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve auditor deadlines for the Commissioners Court date schedule to comply with HB 1522 relating to notice of a meeting held under the Open Meetings Act, which becomes effective September 1st, 2025, made by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Samuelson. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any no opposition? It's 4-0. Okay, number 4, discuss and take appropriate action to approve the 2025-26 Hood County Commissioners Court date schedule.
Make a motion that we approve the 2025-2026 Hood County Commissioners Court date schedule as shown.
Second.
Okay, so saving you some trouble here. We have a motion to approve the 2025-26 Hood County Commissioners Court date schedule made by Commissioner Wilson, seconded by Commissioner Andrews. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None. 4-0. Passes. Okay, number 5. This is a long one. Discuss and take appropriate action to approve adjusting the deadlines for the auditor and agenda items due to the new notice requirements for following Commissioners Court meeting dates. A, September 9th, 2025, auditor, have it by Thursday, August 28th. You go through this because you put it together.
Yeah, sure. So what we just approved was for next year, but this takes effect during this fiscal year. So we'll have to update August and September because the due dates in September will be shifting. So it's complicated, but we will need items in August for the September courts because of the Labor Day holiday. And so it's just changing the last 2 months of this calendar's due dates. And so these are the specific dates. So we're moving it from, it was due to our office on Tuesday. Now we're moving it to the Thursday prior. And then when we are talking about the September 1st Labor Day holiday, that will shift things again. So basically, as it reads here, for the September 9th meeting of Commissioners Court, we have our court closed due date, all items and invoices to the auditor's office Thursday, August 28th. And then everything is due Friday the 29th to Brenda to create the agenda to the county judge's office, okay? And then the September 23rd court date, everything is due to my office, invoices, line item transfers by Thursday, September 11th by noon, and then agenda items Monday, September 15th at noon. So that's just basically changing those due dates and expectations to meet that new guideline.
Anybody got any questions? I hear a motion.
I move that we approve the adjusting of the deadlines for the auditor and agenda items due to the new notice requirements for the following Commissioners Court meeting dates, September 9th, 2025, to the auditor on Thursday, August 28th at noon. Agenda items Friday, August 29th at noon. And September 23rd, 2025, auditor Thursday, September 11th at noon, with agenda items Monday, September 15th at noon.
Second.
We have a motion to approve the agenda item as stated in number 5 by Commissioner Wilson, seconded by Commissioner Andrews. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposition, it passes 4-0. Okay, number 6. Discuss and take appropriate action regarding dividend checks sent to 7 of the 9 volunteer fire departments. The dividend checks are provided by Texas Mutual, the workers' compensation insurance company. Commissioner Andrews.
Go ahead.
I was here to answer questions.
All right. This is This is a refund from workers' comp and the insurances that the county provides to each of the fire departments. Due to their safety record and their not turning in claims, they get a dividend check back on that. So now the question is, what do we do with that? It's about $27,000, right?
Roughly, yes.
Okay. So I guess the question is, do we reward the fire departments for a good safety record and keeping their insurance claims down? Or how do we dispose of this money?
So I will say, in the past, we historically have given these checks to the fire departments as their reward for safety and lack of claims. Due to what happened with the previous fire marshal and there not being any clear-cut procedure on how we were to go through with this, my first question was to talk to Ms. Matlock about what her preference was. And between us, we decided it would be best if we brought it to court and let the court decide how to handle it. The only dilemma that we face now is if we decide that we want to turn these funds back into the budget, is we would then have to go and ask each of the fire departments to endorse their check to the county. So I, for one, if I had a vote in the matter, I would say give it to the fire departments, reward them for their good behavior and lack of claims, and hopefully in the long run, next year our premiums will reflect that.
Yeah.
One option is to use these funds to offset the next year's premium. Is that an option? So, I don't know. I mean, this is a reward for, or the result of having few claims is what provides the return premium.
Correct.
So, this is a hard one because the taxpayers paid for the workers' comp insurance during the budget process. So this is in some ways a refund to the taxpayers for the premium that they paid at the beginning of the year. So do you know have you heard if what the amount premium's going to be this year? Is it going up at all? Do you know yet?
Gosh, that is one thing I did not pull before I came. But historically, over the last 4 years, yes, every year, all of our insurance products have gone up.
Well, I'll make a motion to release the checks to the volunteer fire departments as a thank you for the hard work that they put in and taking care to make sure that they're not filing claims.
Second.
It is a reflection of their safety record.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion to reimburse the dividend checks on the insurance to the 7 of the 9 volunteer fire departments, made by Commissioner Andrews and seconded by Commissioner Wilson. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposition, it passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Okay, I've had a message from the other world that we're pulling number 7, so number 7 is pulled. We're going to go to number 8. Review and discuss scoring for RFP 2025-11 IT outsourcing and take appropriate action to select potential finalists and set a date for in-person presentations.
Good morning, Commissioners. So RFP 2025-11 closed Monday, July 14th at 9 a.m. And there were 11 responsive submissions. And first off, I'd like to thank County Clerk Leftwich, Judge Freeman, Judge Gillum, and the auditor, who did a tremendous amount of work evaluating these submissions in a very, very short period of time. and also to Chris, who gave us technical advice during the process as well. It was a very compressed time frame that they went through a stack that was about this high. So it was a tremendous amount of work. So most of the vendors proposed, what they did is they proposed a fixed price for infrastructure and network management, compliance and reporting, security, updates, and help desk services. Strategic IT management, backup and disaster recovery were sometimes included, sometimes additional. Other services such as recording and publishing court, open records extractions, website, social media, and even equipment installs, moves, adds, and changes are either billed on an hourly basis or excluded. Two of the vendors proposed full-time on-site technicians. Others subcontract the on-site support or dispatch it from DFW at an hourly basis plus travel. So a lot of variations in what was proposed by the different companies, but the submissions were evaluated based on county experience, references, performance guarantees, staffing, and value. And you see those scorings above. And so if we do move forward and do interviews, whoever is chosen for that, I need to pin down so we can actually have an apples to apples comparison on this, because it did vary widely. But looking at those criteria, I think the group evaluating it did a very good job. As you can see, there's a heavy emphasis put on experience of the companies working with counties. Those teams tended to score much better. Of course, pricing and value and staffing. The performance guarantees, the top companies weren't necessarily the best in that criteria, but I think they did a fabulous job putting them in a correct order for consideration. So
What was the first group you said when you were reading out the parts of the RFP? What was the first group of things that you mentioned?
So generally, the fixed price part of the proposals included infrastructure and network management, compliance and reporting, security, updates, and help desk services and ticketing.
Okay.
And that's generally the core of the services. Some of them then included the strategic management, backup, and disaster recovery, where some of them didn't, some of it was optional. But those are the core services. Okay. The on-site services were, like I said, they varied widely from company to company, the amount of support that they are interested in providing there.
I just want to commend the team for, like you said, going through this. This was a lot of work, and they took, this is a busy time of year with all budget going on and all the things that we are faced with the Master Thoroughfare Plan, all of the things that we have going on, and this took a lot of their time to do this, and they did a fantastic job. So thank you all.
You don't want to make a motion? Or?
Well, I was going to, no discussion. I mean, there looks like there's three that are, kind of stand out as being the top three. I don't know if you want to go with the top four or the top three. Or...
Go with the top four, looks like, because of some of, the differences in those, and let them present.
Okay.
Was that a motion? Excuse me.
What?
I had an 11th hour. I've got a speaker here.
Okay.
Sorry. Before we do anything, Mr. Ferris. Thank you.
Hello again. Actually, I'm real pleased with the chart I saw up there. Everything looks pretty good. Although I know from historical, I'm going to come down on one point for you to consider. You're going to be interviewing them, okay? A lot of things will be pretty easy as far as network, technical experience, et cetera. I know that there have been historically a lot of questions about metrics. How do I determine how efficiently a group of people or the contractors are working, okay? And when you're interviewing, there are a number of things that would be good to know about, et cetera, for what kind of metrics should I expect, and do they even know what some of them are, whether it's a burn down rate or a weekly scorecard, things of that nature, which would be management reporting to you to be able to determine how effectively are things working. Are there enough resources? So there are a number of things of that nature, and if there is one or two of you that would like to talk at our workshop, I'd happily talk to everybody. I could give you some examples of things that you can use as test questions for interviewing people. Well, tell me about this, tell me about that, and it'd probably take me a few days to write up a little presentation. But if you're interested, I'll give you some interview tips on what I would want to know, okay? So I just make that offer. I think all of you know how to get a hold of me.
Just go ahead and send it to
Thank you,
us.
thank you. So I suggest that we make a, go ahead, you got something else?
I'd probably like to show it to you and talk about the things if you're interested. And then I've got time, I'm retired.
Okay, thank you. I would say, I suggest that we make a motion on the who to interview or who to set up for presentation, and then we can do a date later. Unless you want to nail a date right now.
I was going to ask you, how much notice do you think they need? And we've got several workshops and special called meetings here in the next week or two already.
Yeah, you'd want to give them as much notice as possible. So I think it would be better to nail down a date. Now, whether you want to do it in court or if you'd rather do it in a workshop is up to y'all. But
Workshop, we still got to come back to court at a later date, you know, also, so.
A decision.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I hear a motion then.
Now, I'll make the motion to select Goldsmith Solutions, CTSI, 22 Century Technologies, Inc., and DefLogix, Inc. to come back at I don't know the date. Do you want to check with them before they, or I could say August 12th. That's our next court, right?
Okay.
That's our next court, right? August 12th, yeah. To come back on August 12th for presentations.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table to choose the top 4 candidates for contract services and have them come in and present on the August 12th Commissioners Court. And who made the motion?
I made the motion.
Commissioner Samuelson made the motion, seconded by Commissioner Andrews.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? None. Okay, passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Number 9, we're going to bump to the end. Number 10. Okay, number 10, discuss and take appropriate action to retain legal counsel to represent Commissioner Samuelson in an upcoming air quality permit action involving Wolf Hollow and Wolf Hollow's attempts to obtain air quality permitting with TCEQ not to exceed $7,500 from an account to be determined by the auditor. And I have a speaker that signed up. Daniel Lakey? Huh? Daniel. Okay, Daniel.
How you doing?
Sorry, I didn't read you.
That's all right. Not a problem at all. I just want to support, just have you guys support Nanette in this. We're behind fighting Wolf Hollow 1 and 2 and 3. So anyway, we're having a hard time getting some information. So the interactions that she has is really important in terms of the deposition and the case moving forward. And obviously, the county needs to make sure she's represented. So we just want to support that action and just ask you to do the same. Thank you.
Okay, well, I can give a little background then. Commissioner Samuelson, you're good, thank you. So Ms. Samuelson's deposition was noticed, or she received a notice that they wanted to take her deposition, upcoming air quality permitting action. And she was sent this down to TAC, and they refused, since there was no monetary damages at this point, they denied coverage on it. That's not to say something might come up later that the TAC will have to get involved on. And we do have, we've had to come in and help before with somebody in the county, so we do have some precedent here. But I believe she needs representation. That's why I put it on here. I didn't think it should be me, since I've been involved with this myself. And we did pass a resolution on this issue a few weeks ago. And for some reason, she's the one that's been put in the hot seat.
Me too, by the way.
And Commissioner Andrews is going to get a chance then also. So I guess we may have to come out back for you later.
Well, and I think probably the easiest answer here is for me to just pull myself as a witness in this particular situation and just let Commissioner Samuelson deal with it. So
I think that's a great idea. So you got anything, Commissioner?
No, you covered it. I was going to just mention that the entire court did pass a resolution last year, actually, and also the Hood County Clean Air Coalition sent a letter to TCEQ to ask them to deny the air quality permit, and that's what our resolution was about. So we do have as a court skin in the game, so to speak. So
We got two issues, and I think that we have a local government code professional exception, and you've already spoken with legal counsel?
I have someone who's willing to go with me to the deposition if this is approved, yes.
Okay. And has the auditor, does she have a contingency? So do we need to name the legal counsel, Mr. Purchaser? Or can she just, do we need to name the legal counsel that she's?
In the motion.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to make a motion to retain legal counsel to represent Commissioner Samuelson in the upcoming air quality permitting action involving Wolf Hollow and Wolf Hollow's attempts to obtain air quality permitting with TCEQ not to exceed $7,500 from contingency fund.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Passes 4-0. This presiding person needs to take a break. So how about a 5-minute break? We'll adjourn for 5. 42. Next agenda item is consider and take appropriate action to select a dental plan and authorize the Hood County judge to sign the dental plan agreement. This agreement will allow Hood County to offer a voluntary dental plan to Hood County employees for the 2025-26 and possibly 26-27 year. Ms. Wellborn.
Yes, good morning. I have Andy Kreider here with Kreider Insurance. He is who brings us our dental plan every year. We just finished a 2-year plan with United Concordia. You all received the proposal for the next fiscal year and then also a proposal from MetLife. And so I've got Andy here if you have any questions regarding the 2 proposals.
Anybody up here have something to say?
Mike, back on. United Concordia, you said that in looking at their renewal rate, it did go up quite a bit. Okay. And this MetLife is more in line with not as much of an increase.
That's correct.
Okay. And the coverages are similar?
Yeah.
Okay.
2 years ago, we did away with waiting periods and a deductible on preventive, which is part of the reason why the claims experience were so bad with United Concordia. Well, MetLife has matched those same procedures or plan design. So there's no waiting period for employees to have major work, and there's no deductible on type 1 services. So they've matched those parts of which were the major things that took us to United Concordia. Just the claims experience is such that, I mean, it's running about 95% paid, which is well over their target ratio. So the 25% rate increase is justified by experience, but MetLife just gave us a better deal.
Okay.
And part of their proposal too is a 5-year rate cap in years 2 and 3. So if the experience continues to be really, really high, we're guaranteed a 5-year rate cap on years 2 and 3, which is a great insurance.
For 5%.
Yeah, 5% rate cap.
Which is not horrible.
Which is a great sort of insurance against future claims.
Sounds like you're recommending MetLife.
Yes, I am. I do think that might be the best move for the county employees.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion that we authorize the county judge to sign a dental plan with MetLife. This will allow Hood County to offer a voluntary dental plan to Hood County employees for the 25, 26, and possibly 26, 27 years.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to select MetLife dental plan and authorize the Hood County judge to sign the dental plan agreement as stated and seconded by Commissioner Samuelson, seconded by Commissioner Andrews. Any other comments?
I just want to say, are y'all okay? Is the court okay with going with a 2-year plan with MetLife?
Is that?
And that allows us to go into the second year with
no more than
a cap
5%.
of 5%. That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, great.
With the amendment that it be the 2-year plan, is that correct? With that amendment?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. Any other comments? Let me redo that motion just for my own edification.
Sure. Thank you.
So we've got a motion to select MetLife dental plan and authorize the county judge to sign the dental plan agreement for a 2-year plan.
Yes, sir.
Made by Commissioner Samuelson and seconded by Commissioner Andrews. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. No opposition. It passes 4-0. Thank you. Number 12, consider and take appropriate action to set the annual salary for the deputy fire marshal at $70,100 starting on August 12th for the remaining budget year. May convene into executive session per Texas Government Code 551.074. Commissioner Wilson.
This is to start the salary for the new deputy fire marshal who just completed the law enforcement training, to get his TCO certification. And we've looked at, the numbers, and based on his past, experiences in the fire marshal field and other areas, I think we're, the 70,100 is the starting pay that we need to go with. Mr. Young.
I don't know how this works, but I actually would like to ask if we can defer to the executive session.
Okay. So we're in the middle of it now. Probably need to adjourn into executive session on this since we started this agenda item. So we'll now adjourn into executive session. Stay tuned. And we're adjourning into Okay, we're back on the record at 11:03. No action was taken in the back. Do I hear any motions?
I move that we set the annual salary for Deputy Fire Marshal at $70,100 starting August the 12th for the remaining budget year.
Yeah, and I'll second that with a little caveat here of what's going on. He has been a TCFP fire investigator for 5 years, and trying to get everything lined up more correctly and put him on an investigator pay scale that's with the sheriff's office right now. Of course, some of that was part-time, so to give him just a couple of years credit and move into the third year step on an investigator pay scale seems like the right place to be. So I will second that motion.
Yes.
Well, the 11th would be fine because I've actually got him scheduled 4 10s Tuesday through Friday. So the 11th will actually start his week. He just won't be required to show up till Tuesday.
Anything from the auditor?
When you guys originally approved this situation, there was a fund transfer to cover this amount from contingency, so you'll see that in the next quarter.
Okay, that was going to be my question, is where's the overlap? Because
Is that for the step 3 or step 5? So we talked.
Whatever you guys decide right now.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion to set the annual salary for Deputy Fire Marshal at $70,100 starting on August the 11th for the remaining budget year, made by Commissioner Wilson and seconded by Commissioner Andrews. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? No opposition. It passes 4-0. Number 13, discuss and take appropriate action to allow the county judge to sign the resolution to update the authorized officials for the FY25 bullet-resistant shield grant application. And the auditor's name is on here. And the grant guy's here. Hey, Jason.
Good morning. Okay. Good morning. These are a couple of fairly straightforward things. Down at the Capitol, they require an updated resolution with our updated people. And this was for not this year's applications, but last year's applications. So we just need to say, hey, yes, fine, here are the new people. Can we please go ahead and finish off our paperwork with you all, please?
one of the suggestions that we had discussed was to, in the now therefore be it resolved, did that change get made, or?
That change not get made to these because the point is just to update. It's just to update it just enough so they will accept our updated financial status reports and grant financial status reports and our biannual status reports. We're looking at updating the boilerplate we're using for future grant application for future grant resolutions to include that, but we're just trying to get it through just because we're waiting on paperwork.
Is there any reason you don't think they'd accept it with, I mean, we're reapproving the resolution.
The problem I had, the reason we didn't do this back when I first got hired was because the people that those resolutions stated as these are the people authorized to work were still working for the county. So we're just trying to get the very basic minimum just so we can get the paperwork turned in.
Oh, just so everyone up here knows what I'm talking about, and in the public, the statement says, now therefore be it resolved in order that the County Judge Ron Massengale is designated as the authorized official to apply for, accept, decline, modify, cancel an application for whatever the grant is. And I've had this discussion with our county attorney and with our auditor that it would be prudent for us to insert the clause with the consent of Commissioner's Court, because otherwise it's kind of carte blanche for the judge to sign anything which is not in compliance with signing contracts in Commissioner's Court. So we'll do that. at a later date then?
Yeah, we can.
I mean, we can bring it back to court at a later date, see
Yeah,
what the
and
rest of the court says.
These resolutions are almost purely for the benefit of the grantor. That way they know whose name to look for on the application. They are not meant to override county policy. That's why, per our policy, if we apply for a grant, that the resolution in support of that grant has to be brought to y'all. And then before any grant acceptance letter can be made, that gets brought to the court as well. This is not meant to override anything like that.
Right, but when there's subsequent contracts that need to be signed, we did have a situation where a contract was signed without coming to court because the wording in the resolution allowed that. And so I just want to be sure that any contract that the judge signs has the approval of the Commissioner's Court. That's it.
Anything else? So, do I hear a motion?
I move that we allow the county judge to sign the resolution to update the authorized officials for the FY25 bullet-resistant shield grant application.
I'll second. So we have a motion to allow the county judge to sign the resolution to update the authorized officials for the FY25 bullet-resistant shield grant application made by Commissioner Wilson, seconded by Commissioner Eagle. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none, it passes 4-0. Number 14, discuss and take appropriate action to allow the county judge to sign the resolution to update the authorized officials for the FY25 rifle-resistant body armor grant program application. Take it away.
This is just almost exactly the same as the first one. This is an application that we did back in 2024, and they're asking for an updated resolution because we've had a change in personnel before they will accept financial status reports or biannual status reports. So we just need to get this. So they're confirmed, yes, these are the people that are supposed to be signing this.
That I'll make a motion that we approve to allow the county judge to sign the resolution to update the authorized officials for the FY25 rifle-resistant body armor grant program application.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the county judge, to allow the county judge to sign the resolution to update the authorized officials for the FY25 rifle-resistant body armor grant program, made by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? None. It passes 4-0.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Number 15, discuss and take appropriate action to approve an application to allow the district clerk to participate in the Texas Cooperative Security System Texas Class program as an authorized investment tool for the district clerk's office. District clerk, you're on.
Good afternoon. I'm bringing this to Commissioner's Court for transparency to the court and the public. It's about a beneficial change that we'd like to make in our office to better serve those that we hold CDs and trusts for. I've given you a handout with some couple of talking points that I'll touch on. Texas Class was established in April of 1996. Our county already works with Texas Class. Public Trust Advisors took over managing Texas Class in October of 2013. Since that time, they've grown the fund from $2 billion in assets under management to a high of $31 billion in assets under management as of March of 2025. They work with over 1,200 Texas public entities. They work with 116 Texas counties. Hood County is one. They also, one of the big things I noticed when I took office is that we currently use local banks for our trusts and our CDs. And those interest rates are anywhere from 1.25% to 2.5%. And when we hold these trusts and these CDs, we are ordered to find the highest interest rate that we can. And that's where Texas Class comes in, because they, right, as of July 15th, they're paying 4.4%, which would be higher than what we have right now. They also manage the accounts for us, so that does take the burden off of my clerk. They are the only LGIP, which is a local government investment pool, that pays dividends daily. All other Texas LGIPs pay you at the end of the month. They pay their participants 365 times a year. Others only pay 12 times a year, and they compound their dividends daily, but Texas Class is the only one that compounds and pays daily. We would have access to our funds daily. We can put our money in, take it out tomorrow. There is no minimum deposit, no minimum balance, no penalties for withdrawing funds at any time. The rate we pay is the daily rate. They also provide participants with free PFI training, which is Public Funds Investment Act training. And my civil clerk and I have both completed that training. Their participant portal is user-friendly. They're also involved in several county organizations and supports them through sponsorships like the County Treasurers Association of Texas, Texas Association of County Auditors, and the County and District Clerks Association of Texas. So what I'm asking today is I just have a resolution that needs to be signed by 2 commissioners so that we could move forward.
Now, the treasurer, you're using this same investment tool, correct? And you highly recommend that. Okay, anybody have any questions up here? Is that no?
Thank you.
No
for,
questions.
Thank you for doing this, because I think it's going to be very
Okay,
beneficial.
so I'll make a motion, and the resolution is in the packet. It's attached to the agenda item. And I'll go ahead and make a motion to allow the district clerk to participate in the Texas Cooperative Security System Program as an authorized investment tool, and ask for at least 2 commissioners to sign off on this.
Second.
I have a motion made by Commissioner Eagle, seconded by Commissioner Andrews. Any other comments or discussion?
I have a question. When would you like me to collect those signatures, commissioner signatures?
You can collect those today if we vote in favor of this. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, it passes 4-0. We'll get it signed today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we got another one for the Hood County Judge. Number 16, authorize the Hood County Judge to sign the annual renewal of the Care Flight contract effective August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026. Take it away, Ms. Wellborn.
Good morning. Again, this is an agreement that comes to the court every year. This is just care flight coverage for all employees and anyone who lives in the household. Total amount, $4,344. I have visited with the auditor. She says the money is budgeted, so it's up to the court if you want to continue with this coverage for employees. I would like to bring some additional coverage to the court. I'm trying to get some folks together to bring you a presentation. Doesn't have to be funded by the court, but I would like to offer some additional coverage to our employees during open enrollment.
And this is something that we've talked about. There are some potential other avenues that we can get to a similar place, and I would like a little more time to kind of compare some of these options and figure a better way forward, or what is the right way forward with this. It's something that we've done, and we've just kind of done it. And, you know, primarily, in my experience, helicopter flights out of this area are done by Air Evac. They're stationed here. Care Flight is often stationed here at the airport, but it's not really a permanent station. So generally, most of the flights we use are Air Evac, which is not covered under the CareFlight plan. CareFlight is a smaller organization, but it's cheaper. So, and then with the possibility of using the MASA insurance, I think there are several things here that I'd like a little bit more time to kind of pull apart and take a look at. So I make a motion to table this.
Okay. I think that's a good idea. Just a question. It's effective August 1st. So will the CareFlight coverage for the employees lapse between now and when we make this decision?
I hope to have it back on the agenda for the July 29th meeting on the health insurance.
Oh, okay.
That's my goal. The gentleman, last year we offered employees, I believe it's Air Med, or
Air Care, yes.
AirVac, or something like that.
Air Evac is the local.
Yes, and I have reached out to them, but he's on military leave until Saturday.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to talk to him. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the agenda and hopefully get in contact with someone with them. I feel like their product was a good product to bring to the employees. It was kind of after the fact, so we didn't have as many participate, but I think we have some employees who would be interested in participating in that. It's a little bit broader coverage than what CareFlight offers, but of course, broader coverage means it's going to cost more.
Yeah, and so it's confusing, talking to Commissioner Andrews and Mr. Reeves, Ricky Reeves from EMS, depending on where you are, if you're in Fort Worth, if you've got Air Evac coverage and you're in Fort Worth, what happens? Do you have to call CareFlight? I mean, do you have to have 3 or 4 of these to make sure you're covered?
Well, generally, dispatch is going to pick the closest, quickest helicopter, which in our area is usually Air Evac. There are times that perhaps Air Evac says we won't fly due to weather conditions, that CareFlight will, or vice versa. There are several factors that play into this. Some of my concern is the confusion with that. If somebody's on an Air Evac and they have the CareFlight coverage through the county, they may say, well, we're good. We've got that covered without knowing the distinction between the two. And so that's a little bit of a concern. As a Hood County resident, we're kind of already covered through it, but there are several things that have to be met inside the county, inside the limits of the county. With this insurance, and Air Med or Air Care is a big program. They're based out of Missouri. So if you had something happen there, that CareFlight's not in that area. CareFlight's local to DFW.
Correct.
And surrounding area. So if you have something happen to you, and I think they're in 47 other states or something to that effect, then you would have that insurance if you're traveling out of town and something happened. Which is not the case with the local, local situation that's kind of automatically for all Hood County residents. So there's some confusion in this deal, and I think trying to get that laid out. And
I don't know the history of CareFlight. This was in place when I went to work for the county. I think at one time CareFlight was considered more of a primary transportation, and they had a pad at the hospital. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think, like Commissioner Andrews said, sometimes it's out at the airport, but they're not with the hospital.
So you made a motion to table, and I'll second.
Okay, a point of clarification, your motion to table to a certain date?
Yeah, you want to do the
July 29th.
Okay, so what amended, so there's a motion to table this item until July 29th. Made by Commissioner Andrews and seconded by Commissioner Samuelson. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. It'll be back on the agenda on the 29th.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Number 17. Discuss and take appropriate action to set the date for a public hearing on the 2026 proposed budget and 2025 tax year proposed tax rate for August 12th, 2025.
This is just setting the date for those hearings so that we can properly publish and get the ball rolling. That August 12th court is going to be filled with lots of things. So I don't know if you want to actually schedule it for that August 12th or you want to move it to the second court in August. That's up to you all to decide, but I need to know so that we can publish those properly in the paper and let everyone know. This is normal timing for all of these things.
And the July 25th, the appraisal district comes out with their numbers like in 3 days, right?
Correct.
To comply with the, if we moved it to the 22nd, does it still comply with all the dates that you have?
It does, but it makes it a really tight time frame
compressed,
to
yeah.
approve all the things.
I think
So
we just leave it the way.
Kind of my feeling on that too.
And it's just the proposed. So this
Right.
isn't you're setting the rates, you're setting the budget, any of that. It's just part of the process. We have to do a proposed budget. We have to do the proposed rates. This is one step in the many that it takes.
I'll make the motion to set the date for the public hearing on the 2026 proposed budget and the 2025 tax year proposed tax rate for August 12th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to set the date for a public hearing on the 2026 proposed budget and the 2025 tax year proposed tax rate to be done on August the 12th, 2025, made by Commissioner Samuelson, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposition, it passes 4-0. Brings us to agenda item number 18.
Pull that one.
Agenda number 18 item is pulled. Agenda number 19, discuss and take appropriate action to approve reimbursing Toller VFD and Granbury VFD for costs associated with the Big L fire in 2022. Mr. Wilson.
This is to, reimburse the, the two fire departments from the Big L fire that was paid back. Let's see if I find my notes here. And total amount eligible is $64,343.71. It's a 75-25 agreement, and so our portion of the eligible reimbursement funds is $48,257.75. And the way that would break down, is Toller is eligible reimbursement is $11,853.93. Granbury Volunteer Fire Department's eligible reimbursement totals $23,058.
Then the remaining $13,404 just remains in the emergency management budget.
Yes, that's correct.
And these are direct costs that these fire departments incurred during the Big L fire. You fill out a whole bunch of paperwork, you list the times your trucks were out there, and then compare that with GSA rates, and they pay you this much for this day for that kind of truck. And so that's what this is, but we have to coordinate that and bring it all through. So with that said, I'll make a motion that we approve reimbursing Toller VFD and Granbury VFD for the costs associated with the Big L fire in 2022.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to approve reimbursing Toller VFD and Granbury VFD for costs associated with the Big L fire in 2022, made by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Samuelson. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. No opposition, 4-0. Okay, does anybody, now we're at the consent agenda. Does any commissioner need to have the desire to pull something off the consent agenda? No?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Andrews to approve the consent agenda, seconded by Commissioner Samuelson. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. No opposition, it passes 4-0. Where are we here?
No road ops.
Purchasing. Oh, excuse me, road ops. I'm sorry. Did I pass that?
Development.
Okay, no road ops, development. You got it.
First item, we have a public hearing for a replat of Robinson Creek Estates, Lot 5R and 5R1.
Okay, it's now 11:29, and we will go into a public hearing.
This replat is of tracks 5 and 6 of Robinson Creek Estates. The replat is being done to relocate track lines that will be creating a track 5R that is 2.14 acres and track 5R1 that is 18.798 acres. The proposed replat lies in the Water Quality District in Precinct 1, is served by Texas Water Utilities and on-site sewage facilities. The proposed tracks will access existing Tennessee Trail. All comments have been addressed, and I believe there's a speaker.
Yes, there is a speaker, Mr. Richard Bay.
Old, I have to switch glasses. A couple of points on this really quick. Number one, this is not inside of Lake Granbury Harbor HOA, but it is surrounded by it. So the access to the lot does come through Lake Granbury HOA. We're working with them to take that applied easement into an express easement. So I just wanted to mention that for the court. We're in talks with them on that. The only other thing I'd mention on this is that if you go to figure number 3 on the sheet, there's a huge ravine on this property that goes from side to side. Ravine 1, which has a depth of 35 to 45 feet and has a seasonal waterfall that runs through it. The reason why we're doing this replate is so that we can get access to the back half of Lot 5. The way it sits currently, Lot 5 has not been maintained at all ever because you can't access it. And so if you look down to figure 4, you can see where Lot 5R1 now includes the back half of Lot 5, and then Lot 5R is what's new and being created. We've done that so that we can access the back half of Lot 5 so that we can maintain it, clear it of brush. Robertson Creek does run through that, and it is leading to some flooding in the area when it runs heavy. That's all I have unless there's any questions.
Okay, those are private, well, there's an access easement in the, what? All right, let you go, Clint.
When the original plat of Lake Granbury Harbor was done, there was lots left out, like a jigsaw puzzle where they were going to come back and do another section. Well, the same developer come back and did another section. He just called it Robinson Creek Estates. Those roads are dedicated to the public. There's no easement. I mean, they may be maintained privately because they're not county maintained, but they are dedicated to the public. They have the right to use them.
Okay, so does this put an additional lot back there?
It's actually just making it a lot smaller.
Okay.
So if you look at figure 1.
Okay, all right.
Figure 1, the orange line is the
there.
current adjustment or boundary between lots 5 and lot 6. I should have told the story full out.
No, and it's very clear on that piece of paper now that you point that out to me.
And then figure
so.
2 is the new lot boundary that creates a smaller lot.
Gotcha.
This is the linchpin to a larger development we're doing in the area for private homes.
So, okay, that makes sense.
All right.
Okay, we're still in public hearing. Anybody else have anything they want to comment? Okay, closing the public hearing at 11:33, and do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the replat of Robinson Creek Estates, Lot 5R1, or 5R and 5R1.
Second. Motion's been made to approve the replat of Robinson Creek Estates, lots 5R and 5R1, made by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Eagle. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? None. Passes 4-0. Development item number B.
You have another public hearing for the Landings East, lots 3722R, 3724R, and Track 8.
We will now move into a public hearing at 11:34. Take it away.
This replat is the replat of lots 3722 and 3724 of the Landings East. This replat is being done to create Track A that is restricted to the sole use for AMUD infrastructure. The proposed replat lies in the Water Quality District of Precinct 2 and will be serving AMUD and served by AMUD. All comments have been addressed. Staff recommends approval as presented. Any questions?
How many questions?
Anybody in the audience have any questions? Okay. Commissioner Samuelson, you want to have anything in the public hearing?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. All right, we will close the public hearing, and we're back in Commissioner's Court. Do I hear a motion?
Yes, make a motion to approve the replat of the Landings East lots 3722-R, 3724-R, and Tract A.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the replat of the Landings East, lots 3722-R, 3724-R, and Tract A, made by Commissioner Samuelson, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposition, it passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okey doke, financial.
Hello again. So this court, the expenditures are $1,652,908.58, including the Crescent bypass payment. And my office has reviewed all the invoices for this court and recommends payment.
This is the second to last Crescent bypass payment?
There's 3, so after this one, there'll be 2 more.
I'll make a motion to pay the bills at $1,652,918.58.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made to pay the bills by Commissioner Samuelson at an amount of $1,652,918.58, seconded by Commissioner Andrews. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposition? None, passes 4-0. Monthly reports.
Okay, so we have monthly reports and bank reconciliations. We are up to date with everyone. So auditor's offices worked very hard to catch up, even though we're a little short-staffed. So we've reviewed these and asked that the court accept both the bank reconciliations and the monthly reports.
All the way caught up.
Caught up.
Wow,
On this.
congratulations.
Hey, yeah,
Yeah,
that's kind of a big feat. With that, I'll make a motion to accept the financial reports for July 1st, 2025 through July 15th, 2025, and the bank reconciliations.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the financial reports and bank reconciliations made by Commissioner Andrews, seconded by Commissioner Samuelson. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposition, it passes 4-0. And we've got one more item to go back into executive session for. We need to go back up to item number, which item is that?
9.
Okay, so we will, it is 11:37, and we are at item number 9 under discussion items, and we are now convening into executive session under real estate purchase exemption under the government code 551.072. Okay, we are back on at high noon. No action was taken in the back, and no action is going to be taken today. We are hereby adjourned. Thank you.